Hello everybody and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am the OutbackAl.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm NV Jitters.
You have to think about it?
We all have to think about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I'm not used to being number
also
3.
had to decide if they were gapped today.
I decided I'm not.
Alright.
Not
I'm
today.
CheerandCosplay.
And I'm Kozi.
So now that we've curbed our identity theft issues, what are we doing this week? This week starts I don't have a special name for it, but the live-action American adaptation of anime movie tournament showdown thing. I don't know. We'll come up with a better name for this.
America
It's
pass or fail.
Yeah, sure. America, yay or nay?
America
pass or
smash or
fail.
pass.
Kind of, because it's this week and then next week you're actually going to cover something else. And then we're back to it.
Yeah, so it's gonna be, this is sort of like the opening. This is like the opening for the thing. Then we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come back with like the meat of it all. Because this is what we watched this week, The Guyver, or I think just Guyver, because there wasn't a "the" on the title screen whenever it came up in the movie. So this was the first film in America that was based on a Japanese manga anime type property. It's from 1991.
That still surprises me.
I mean, they
I mean, I
syndicated
know
a whole
anime
bunch of
wasn't as
stuff,
big,
yeah.
but like I would have expected them to do like Astro Boy or Dragon Ball or something a lot more popular than
No.
The Guyver.
Yeah,
They
no.
would not have had the technical know-how on how to accomplish that.
Yeah, absolutely not. That was I can probably tell you the only reason this was made, but we'll get to that. So this is based
Has there
on
been a live action Astro Boy yet?
I don't think so.
No, they had like among some of the other
I think
like
there was
early
a CG one.
That was in 2007. Among the earlier anime, like Astro Boy, Speed Racer, and stuff, some of those things had gotten syndicated onto American television with English dub. But yeah, this was kind of like one of the first things. Like anime had started to become a thing. It was a bit more of an underground thing. We hadn't had like the big Pokemon boom from like 97, 98, and Dragon Ball Z a year before that. There wasn't any Toonami. There wasn't any Adult Swim or like all that stuff that we would have for like where we see like Cowboy Bebop or whatever else. So like anime was
People
like
watch anime by getting cassettes pirated and then
well, not always pirated. Like you could find like it. You basically had to have a pen pal in Japan sometimes.
yeah.
And
like
yeah, there was stuff passed around at conventions. There was, the occasional screening of like Akira or something like that. Ghost in the Shell wasn't out yet. But yeah, it was kind of it was like a very, very niche sort of,
hobby, I would say. At
hobby,
that point.
interest, whatever you want to call it. And
Like, it was all done through in-person stuff.
Yeah, you really had to get face-to-face with everybody, because, like, the internet was not a big thing for everyone yet, and, videos and downloading and everything definitely wasn't going to be a thing for a few more years. But yeah, so, again, made in 1991, definitely shows throughout the entire thing.
Absolutely.
in more ways than one.
Oh, yeah, like, so many ways. Like, oh my god. This was directed, I just have to bring up the director's name on their own, Screaming Mad George. What a great name.
Yeah.
I mean, the main
Fantastic.
actor for this movie who played the Guyver, Jack Armstrong, I'm gonna bet $1,000 that's not even his real name.
No, probably not. But who else is in this movie? Who's the only other... well, no, there's yeah. We got to talk about Mark Hamill real quick. Mark Hamill's in
why
this movie.
is he here?
I was
He's a
very
fan of the Guyver.
surprised.
Oh, he actually just
Yeah,
liked the
He's-
manga?
Yeah, he's a huge nerd.
Oh my
There you
god.
go. That's how they got him.
So
I
did he
was
produce
seriously
it?
like,
I don't think he produced it, but I think he just wanted to be part of it.
Oh my god.
So he's like, yeah, give me a role, man. I will.
He'll do anything.
And when Luke Skywalker says, let me be in your movie, you're gonna do it.
yeah, you say hell yes, but when his name rolled across the opening sequence, I'm like, how the fuck did they bag him?
Oh, he bagged
She was
them.
so startled she forgot how to say his name.
I
He
mean,
was like, is that Hamil?
I mean, I will say this. I mean, Mark Hamill's one of my favorite actors, but like, he hadn't started. Batman the Animated Series hadn't come out yet, and so
he was recording
really
this at the time that this was also being made.
But like, people obviously knew him as Luke Skywalker, but after Return of the Jedi, he really wasn't in anything major until Batman, from my knowledge.
He had been like, I think
Well,
there was one movie that I saw.
By his own choice, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, he made his money off of Star Wars, but he also wanted to like pursue other projects and do some other things. I know he was in The Big Red One, which was a World War II movie that did fairly well, I think. I like that one.
Never heard of it.
It's since kind of gotten buried by stuff like Saving Private Ryan and a number of other ones that came to larger prominence. But he had been just kind of doing his own thing. This is actually interesting because I think in 1990, 1991, he was doing this. He was recording Batman the Animated Series, and he was the trickster on the live-action Flash show. And if you ever see him as that, he is just doing the Joker in live action. And it's kind of great. I think he was in 2 of those episodes.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah,
it was a thing.
Everyone does, but it's kind of great. Yeah, but beyond that, so this movie, let's explain the plot, what little there is. Apparently there are aliens that came to Earth and made humans as the ultimate biological weapon, and these other things called zoonoids who are super mutated humans. And then there's the Guyver, which is it's Venom. It's the symbiote, but minus the personality. It's it's kind of like the original title Bio Booster Armor Guyver. It's biological armor that can attach to someone, infuse itself into them, and make them super strong and fast and a superhero, essentially.
They don't really cover this in the movie, but it is actually like Venom. It is sentient.
Who was also coming out around the same time. This is a real big combination of a whole bunch of 90s stuff. But we will say, Bio Armor Booster Guyver was based on the manga that came out before Venom, so we'll give it the credit for originality. Let's see here. So, we meet a scientist.
Nice cold open of a fish guy getting shanked.
Oh yeah, fantastic. And what I have to assume is the drag racing section from Grease. And
Oh yeah.
well, to be fair, that's in every movie that's ever been shot in LA.
You're right.
But,
I want to go there someday.
it's a pretty long stretch, so you could probably find something
Just
recreate
somewhere. Yeah. All those scenes.
There's too many. What the hell are you talking about?
Take
Recreate
all
them all. Just do the most iconic ones. This beatdown scene in The Guyver and the scene from
Is
Grease.
that iconic?
Yes,
The Guyver.
absolutely. We got a fish person, and I don't exactly know how to describe the other guy's animal form. I know the
Doesn't
one
that
guy.
explain how they flew into the sun at the end of Grease?
She's been dead the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing was a hallucination as she was slowly losing oxygen as she was drowning on the beach. Danny was not able to save her.
Oh.
That's
No, I
even
like
better.
that. Yeah.
You haven't heard that
I've
theory?
heard that theory.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So,
It all makes sense.
I mean, it's all in the head of this scientist guy who's getting curb stomped by the other alien guy. Anyway, why is he getting curb stomped?
Sure.
He stole the Guyver. We've already explained what the Guyver is. And he hid it somewhere along the riverbed. They can't find it. But some other dude finds it after having not karate, it's Aikido. I don't exactly know if they pronounce it right. And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. But Japanese-style martial art that he does. He gets his butt kicked by some guy in the class. But he's got a friend. A pretty friend named, I forgot her name. But she's the girl.
Miski.
What was it?
Miski.
Miski. That's why I forgot it. It's
Traditionally
weird.
Mizuki, but
Okay.
you know.
I almost feel like they should have called her
Americans.
Mizuki. Because I feel like she's
Yeah.
not from LA. I mean, she's got a bit of a thick accent going. I have to assume she was from
No, I
Japan.
think they just couldn't pronounce her name.
Yeah. Anyway, she's the scientist's daughter. Mark Hamill comes to tell her, hey, your dad's dead, and he was trying to to find me and give me something. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it looks like, but can you help me find it? That's a lot to go on. They all end up by the riverbed place, investigating things. There's some cliche cop dialogue. And what's his face? The main character guy. What was his name? Mark Armstrong? Jack Armstrong?
I mean, that's the actor that played him. His name's Sean.
Oh, more generic.
Sean.
Okay.
Sean.
Sean finds the Guyver, and then he gets into a fight with the guy from his Aikido class, and the rest of his buddies who all know Aikido. And he falls face first onto the Guyver, and it fuses to his body, so he beats up all the people who are beating him up. Yeah. And then he's like, oh God, what have I become? He somehow...
Fast forward.
Yeah, somehow gets it off, and everyone else is like, oh God, we lost the Guyver. So, the corporation leader dude, I gotta give him so many points. I loved this character. He is so hamming it up, and I love it. He's great. I gotta
be totally
look up
honest.
cast here.
The scene where he's introduced and he's talking to his main right-hand man
Yeah.
with the torture scene, that gave me an unintentional laugh.
Yes.
It was pretty
Which
hilarious.
I gotta give points to the guy who's playing his number 2, Michael Berryman. I don't know how many of you guys see him, but he has a very long career in like B movies and horror movies and a whole bunch of stuff. His one of his first credits was actually One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, where he was one of the patients at the. Is that you remembering where you saw him?
I was like, this man's familiar.
He's that guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he was in that, and like immediately afterwards, he was in The Hills Have Eyes, which is like a classic horror film.
Ah,
But
now I'm seeing it.
so he has a very long career, and I'm glad that he got a little more screen time and a little more dialogue time because I like seeing him. Oh God, what was his boss? It's a man named David Gale, who has been in such cult classics as Reanimator and Bride of the Reanimator.
Reanimator is pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's Dr. Carl Hill.
Ah,
Is that the...
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. He's a B movie. He's a Vincent Price type.
So these are all B movie actors. That checks out.
Honestly, if you think
This
about
is
it,
kind of a
Mark
B
Hamill
movie.
is kind of one the highest rated B movie actor of all time. Think about what Star Wars was. It was kind of designed to be a B
Originally,
movie.
yeah, but then it became a
It was.
blockbuster.
Yeah.
So.
So, illustrious cast of, I don't know, B movie and horror
Wonderfully
movie.
hammy people.
Yeah, wonderfully hammy people.
Yeah, going back to when he was getting beat up right before he fused with the Guyver. Like when all those people, they like copied him in unison and then they were talking like robots.
Yep.
That was hilariously disturbing.
This has to be one of these most 90s movies I've ever seen. Like late 80s, early 90s.
More ways than one,
Oh,
considering the one black henchman, I forget his name, I don't care to remember it. He's as 90s stereotypical racist as you can imagine.
The movie was a lot of racist in a lot of ways.
That is Jimmy Walker playing MC Stryker.
He was a lot.
But he's also the most memorable of all of them, especially
Yeah.
since he looks like a roided out gremlin.
I was waiting for him to die the
Like-
entire movie, and of course he's like the one guy that Guyver doesn't kill throughout the
Yeah.
whole movie.
Oh my god, the horror movie part where he like launches
Wonderful.
himself into the set.
Wonderful.
Hilarious.
So stupid.
That was
so
a
much fun.
Scooby-Doo scene.
Yes.
I will say this though, I got to give this movie credit. It probably didn't have a big budget. Probably got most of its budget to get Mark Hamill in it, but the creature effects and the costumes actually still hold up pretty well.
So
Practical effects, baby.
So Screaming Mad George, this is their only directing job that they've ever done. They're primarily a special effects makeup artist. So that explains how they were able to get like these costumes and like have them do stuff, and like I appreciated that for what has to be a very small budget, and that I think they did really well with it. It's silly as hell, but it's utterly enjoyable for me.
I mean, at a certain point when I was watching it, I was just like, okay, I'm watching a camp. I'm watching a pulpy, campy movie, and I'm just rolling with it. Like, obviously, the MC Skeeter, I wanted to yeet him off a cliff, but like, throughout most of the movie,
Stryker, come on now, you say
I don't
that
give a
man's
shit.
name right. He was a
No,
treasure.
I won't. No, I won't.
More
No,
like
he's-
MC Yeeter.
Yeah, he's a cancer. But anyway, throughout most of the movie, I was just enjoying I'll be honest, either campy acting or bad acting, except for Mark Hamill. He was like the only one that gave a shit in that movie. But I was enjoying myself. Like, I was, for what it was, I was kind of like, you know what? this is unbelievably stupid, but it was probably meant to be stupid. Probably not what the original author of the manga intended, but it is what it is.
No, I'm not. I don't think they liked it.
It definitely seems like they didn't take the manga very seriously, but it was so fun to watch. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, to me, and like this might just be like this is definitely who I am, and I also feel like this is how it got made. This just reminds me of an episode, like an extended episode of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
every element of it, the action, the characters, especially the music. Like
Yeah.
the weird sort of like comedic.
We gotta talk about those transitions.
Oh my god, the
Oh
transitions.
Oh my
Dude,
gosh,
every
those
time.
fucking transitions.
Why did they get rid of them?
It went away halfway through the movie, but before that, it was happening every single scene.
Every
It was
time
like,
they switched to place.
"Da-da-da!"
It was so great, and then they get rid of it whenever
They
things start
should've-
getting.
They should have stuck to it.
Yeah, whenever things start
They
getting
needed to
dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, no, they got to keep those in. Those were
it
great.
was perfect. It was my favorite part.
Yeah, no, I genuinely think, and I don't have anything in front of this, but I really think, because like Power Rangers came out here in like '89, and
Yeah.
like
Power
Saban got it
Rangers
like that.
was-
This had to have been an influence in the
Yeah,
making.
it
of
was
this.
pretty popular.
100%.
I-
It's still going. That's how popular it was back in the day. If you can,
You know
keep
what?
that
You know what the
living-
costumes also
My
kind of
God.
reminded me of in a way. I might get criticized for saying this, depending on who's seen this movie, but the costumes honestly remind me a lot of the first live-action Ninja Turtles movie from 1990 in a way, but in a good way.
I could see that a
You
little
are
like that.
not wrong.
Yeah, I think a lot of them were all trying to do like that sort of, live action creature feature kind of thing. I mean, their creature feature is not something new,
Right.
but I think like combining with a little bit of action and maybe a little bit of comedy and some other things was kind of new. I think Power Rangers was a big influence probably on that as well, of like getting that to happen. Cuz like when you think about it, all the plots are kind of the same a little bit. It's a superhero in a suit fighting guys in monster suits. It's it kind of goes without saying. And there's martial arts, and in the case of the Ninja Turtles, ninja stuff. Why not? Yeah, but I'm happy about that because I'm a Power Rangers fan, and I had a lot of fun. Like, kind of almost feeling like I was like a little 5-year-old watching, it's morphin' time or whatever. It's we gotta watch Power Rangers
Dino
at some
Thunder.
point. Dino Thunder. You
Okay.
watched Dino Thunder?
That was the one that I saw a little bit of it when I was a kid.
Dino Thunder was
So-
like a lot better than it had any right to be.
I remember Dino
I just
Thunder.
looked it up.
Yeah.
This thing had a budget of $3 million.
For 1991, that might feel like a lot, but I don't know that it is.
Oh, that's
It's
not a lot of
pretty
money at all.
small.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
the
that's-
original Star Wars from 1977 had a budget of 11 to 15 million, so
Yeah, which is like kind of what the standard would be now for like a low budget
Yeah.
film.
But those
yeah.
are longer movies. This was not that long.
No, but it also didn't have to be.
I feel like that was about the kind of budget you expect from like one of those horror movies, like slasher
Yeah, it's a
movies.
B movie type thing.
Yeah.
or
Like about
nowadays it's a
3-4
Blumhouse film
million.
budget.
Yeah, you say what you want. Blumhouse actually makes some pretty
they're
good movies.
Good. They're good.
I think they kind of like I think are part of the reason we've had like a horror revival in recent years.
Exactly.
So
I know, their
I think
budgets
that-
are notoriously cheap. That's just why I say that.
yeah,
but their scripts are
but when
good.
you know the original Halloween was made for $300,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So cheap.
If you know what you're doing, you can make a budget fucking work.
I mean, I think the original
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre was even less than that.
That was so cheap too. Yeah.
That's the same guy, Hills Have Eyes. I think the director.
Yeah.
That's our connection to our number 2.
Those movies were all so cheap, but they just did them so well. But it's like, what do you need aside from like a monster mask? Like, didn't they get Michael Myers mask from a Halloween store?
Yeah, it was a William Shatner mask.
It was it was a William Shatner mask.
They were
It was so
I
cheap.
think they originally wanted to try like something more like sinister or do something like this and that, but they were just like, you know what? Just the
William
white
Shatner.
honestly
he's
the white
creepy.
mask just it works.
Yeah.
They were just
White
like, "Let's
people
do
are
this."
scary.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Absolutely. I'm terrified. Anyway, back to the really scary monsters. Really scary monsters. They're hilarious. I loved all of them. Like, I think each one is supposed to be some sort of animal type creature that they're kind of, because like they kind of describe it as like we're combining DNA from a bunch of different animals into humans to make these things. So like I think one guy's got a bit of an elephant thing going on, the Russian dude. I don't know what MC Skeeter's thing is. All I can think of is a horse-faced gremlin. Like with the flapping ears and stuff.
Maybe he's a bat? I don't know.
Maybe?
But I'm stretching it. I don't know.
Yeah, one's a werewolf owl person. I can only describe one of them as a dragon. I don't know. There's others. But yeah, eventually, the usual plot happens of monsters fight Guyver. Guyver fights monsters. Someone gets kidnapped, taken to an evil facility to be, I'm scared to say, probably groped by what's-his-face.
I mean, let's also not forget that Guyver dies at one point.
Yeah, they
killed
him.
Guyver. Yeah,
but he can regenerate.
Because the unit is sentient, it just regenerated him instead of finding a new user.
Yeah, grew him back. Which, that's a whole
You know what's
thing.
sad, too? Like, his love interest, Mitsuru, she was actually a pretty...
Yep.
Like, she actually wasn't just
Mitsuru?
or Mitsuru, whatever her name is.
Mitsu?
Yeah,
Mitsu?
Mitsuki.
Mitsuki.
I guess I was reading the original manga's character's name, but I was actually surprised at how competent she was towards the end of the movie. She just wasn't like a damsel in distress. It just... I hate to rip on the actress, but she was probably the worst actress in the movie. Like her line delivery, but so that was kind of that was kind of torn.
I missed half of this movie either because I was doing other things or falling asleep.
Oh, okay. But you seem to have picked up on the most fun parts at the very least. So yeah, they go to a facility where they have to figure out what's going on with the Guyver. Like, we've never been able to, in all these years, we haven't figured out how to turn on the Guyver, and like so no one just like hit it. No one just smacked it or like smashed their head off it. I get how that's not the immediate thing that you want to do, but you would think after years and years, someone would just be like, just hit it or something.
Well, I mean, to activate it, all he did was get his heart rate up and go, I am the Guyver!
No, I mean to turn it on initially. He literally just smashed his face into it.
Maybe it has to choose you. Like, it has to like you. Or...
Oh, so now it's Green Lantern's
Yeah,
ring?
maybe it's like Green Lantern.
Yeah, but he wasn't really that memorable of a guy. He was just kind of a little shit that ignored.
He's the chosen one.
I'm going to throw this out there.
The thing about the Guyver unit was that it was supposed to be able to defeat the Zoonoids.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be protection from them, so it tracks that they wouldn't be able to use it.
Maybe. Yeah. I must say, I don't think he was a shit. I don't think Sean was a shit of a person. I actually think he was a pretty good guy for the most part.
He was just slightly boring.
Yeah, a little boring, but like, he...
But he's an anime protagonist.
Yeah.
The way he dies when he thinks he killed his girlfriend.
Yeah, a bit of an overactor, but not a bad person. So they're pumping Mark Hamill full of juice to turn him into a Zoonoid. And
that was gross.
Yeah, it was gross.
I mean, not as bad as his transformation at the end of the film.
I want to talk about when the Guyver gets reconstituted and he starts fighting everybody, and like for him it's like, okay, we're doing full Power Rangers fight scene thing, but for Mark Hamill and the girlfriend, they're just straight up doing a Benny Hill thing. They're just like, we're gonna run over here. Oh, can't run over there.
Yep.
Oh, we're gonna run over here. Like, they're just being chased. Yeah. They're like
the poor thing is being
chasing,
dragged all around
with the monsters and stuff.
Nearly got her arm ripped out.
Yeah.
Oh, while we're on the topic of this fight scene, I would like to appreciate that. Probably because it was a set, they had to keep the fire extinguishers in shot.
Yeah.
Like, we love lab safety.
Yeah.
They didn't use them once they actually lit the lab on fire, but we love lab safety.
By the time the lab's on fire, everyone's already transformed into monster people and fighting. You don't got time to deal with fires. That's not gonna happen. You gotta catch Mark Hamill.
And plus, when it caught on fire, it was at the very end. So, like,
didn't one of them like grab a fire extinguisher to throw at someone else, or am I thinking of something else? I feel like one of them used it as a weapon.
Might be thinking of
Are
something
you thinking
else.
of Madoka Magica?
No, I don't think about it that often. I don't know. I feel like Mark Hamill grabbed a fire extinguisher at some point and tried to smack someone with it. I might be wrong. I might be thinking of other things. Never mind. Yeah, that was a very fun fight scene and chase. More than anything, it was a fun chase for me. And then we got to get to the fact that they killed Mark Hamill, and I hate that. I don't
They
think
killed
Mark
him in
Hamill
the
should be
grossest
dead.
way.
Yeah, he transforms into a cockroach. We do like full Cronenberg body horror. Mark Hamill is turning into a cockroach, and then he dies.
Melted.
Yeah. I was like, this
He
is a
was
kid's
like-
movie up until that moment.
He was like, Kafkai's me, Captain.
Yep. I didn't like that part. I think Mark Hamill should have made it.
I mean,
Somebody had to go.
yeah, I mean,
Did they?
way to
The
show
scientist went?
I mean, way to show the brutality of your main organization, I guess.
Yeah, but up until
Yeah.
that point, they were like Halloween villains. Like they were
had to up the stakes.
I mean,
this was a fucking Power Rangers.
I mean, let's not
movie.
forget-
I
mean,
mean,
let's-
it was kind of Mitsuki's fault.
Well, and also
think
let's not forget at the
maybe,
beginning of
but-
the movie, her dad literally got her skull crushed by the henchman.
Yeah, a fish monster got his skull
It's
crushed.
st-
We
they
didn't
still
see him
showed it.
transform into the fish monster.
And then melted into
Yeah, they
goo.
still showed all that.
melted
so.
into goo. We didn't see up until that point. We hadn't seen a man bloat and melt and like Cronenberg all over the
I think
place.
there still wasn't any blood though,
Yeah, no,
so
Yeah.
it could still be PG.
it's definitely
Arguably.
PG-13. That Mark Hamill scene is what puts it at PG-13. That and possibly some language, though I don't remember entirely.
Oh yeah, they said shit multiple times. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Did
where did that come from? I thought this was a kid's movie.
It feels like a kid's movie, other than that
Yeah.
and Mark Hamill's
It
melting
was so
point.
cartoonish up until then, and then they dropped like 3 shits in a row.
Yep.
Sounds like me after I had Taco Bell. Oh!
I mean, it was the 90s. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. So yeah, eventually, Mark Hamill dies. We get to the big bad, which is the super campy CEO, and he transforms into the Zoalord, a monstrous
Dragon.
behemoth creature.
It was a dragon.
Yeah, more or less. And, the Guyver beats him. He explodes. Lots of things explode. And, he gets out of there. They leave. After he comes out of the armor, naked.
And then they make out.
He's about 30 minutes old. When you think about it. Like,
Right.
This is not the original guy anymore. Like, I think we can be clear about that.
I mean, it's like the fucking your clone theory.
Well, he's not fucking his clone. This is like Venture Brothers. The kids keep dying, so they just keep cloning them.
I mean, at least she had the decency to cover him.
Yeah, I guess so.
She was like, oh shit, you naked.
She hesitated though. I didn't think she was gonna do it.
Yeah. So that's the overall plot.
I'm interested in
What
checking out the
would-
sequel one day because I hear like it's got a cult following because apparently it's a lot closer to the manga and apparently it got better received than critics. 'Cause
Yeah.
no doubt critics back in 1991 trashed this movie because, well, why
Probably,
wouldn't they?
Yeah.
but still.
Is it the same actors and everything? in the
Nope.
I
sequel?
don't think so.
David
Oh,
Hayter, the voice
totally
of
different.
Solid Snake in the original Metal Gear Solid games, plays the Guyver.
Well, that sounds
Oh.
interesting.
I looked it up yesterday.
Yeah, I've heard that the sequel is more accurate, darker, and has better action. So I'm absolutely down to watching this at some point. We'll have to do it at a later time because we already said that we weren't going to do this because we got a couple weeks. It's very tight. We want to get to 150 and then talk about everything at once. But for now, let's talk about what was everybody's final thoughts on this? What was like? I kind of loved this. I might rewatch this at some point, just for fun, on my own. I don't know about anybody else.
I'm here for the camp. It was good. In a bad way.
I Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You go first.
I enjoyed it for what it was. I would honestly pay money to see a riff tracks of this, because this is like the type of movie that begs to be riff tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Mystery Science Theater could cover it, that would be amazing.
Maybe they could get the rights. You never know.
But I hated it. It was disgusting and boring.
Oh.
Like, it was a trip, but it was a trip through the desert. With nothing to look at.
I mean, I don't blame you.
It was kind of boring, to be honest.
I mean, I was never
liked the
bored,
campy
but
parts,
it's not
I
good.
wasn't bored.
Yeah.
I had fun.
I'm pretty neutral on it. For most of it, it could not actually keep my attention, so... I mean, I guess that speaks for itself. It did honestly bother me looking back on it through, like, the lens of society today, like, how racist it was.
And, like,
That's
it wasn't
true.
even, like, racist as in, like, it's like... I mean, it was racist, but, like, it was, like, 90s stereotypical racist. Like,
Yeah,
yo, man,
it was, like
caricatures
caricatures
yeah.
of races.
Yeah.
But
That was
other
pretty
than that, yeah, I have no real feelings towards it.
Okay, so one person really enjoyed this, and everyone else is kind of like, yep, bury it.
I didn't say bury it. I said I enjoyed it. I just didn't enjoy it as much as you. But yet again, I also realized what movie I was watching about 10 minutes into the movie. So I was like, okay, just roll with it.
Yeah, I think I feel
So-
similar, where it's like I enjoyed the funnier parts, like the weird transitions and the, I don't know, just the overall campiness.
Because,
but
like,
I
the
think,
costumes, the makeup, the practical effects, the action, it all holds up really well. It's just a product of its time.
yeah, I just, like, zoned out sometimes, and some parts were just, like, wacky, like, this is really outdated kind of thing, so I was like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like if the writing would have been strong, it could have performed really well.
Maybe.
You know, what I think bothered me the most was, the info dump at the beginning.
Oh, from
I was
Mr.
like, okay.
Worf?
Yeah, like, they threw so much at you, and then, like, stuff kept happening, and I was like, okay, is this the thing they were talking about? I've already forgotten what I'm supposed to be remembering. I think if they hadn't done that, and then they're just like, oh, hey, everybody's killing each other to get this Guyver thing, I'd been like, ooh, what is that?
You know, I'm going to be real with you. I don't know that it's necessary, because I feel like they explain everything that was explained there at some point else in the movie.
Yeah, they didn't even
Yes,
need that opening
that's
crawl.
the other thing.
Yeah.
Like, the main character doesn't know any of this, so they're gonna have to explain it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like... Yeah, it's pretty much covered in the evil speech that the CEO has as he's, like, showing the girl around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
I think if they took that out, it would have definitely bumped it up a couple points for me.
What are you saying?
I'd be kind of interested in seeing what the original's actually like. It's probably way better.
I'm going to throw this out there. There is, like, a... There were 2 50-minute OVAs made.
And 2
and then later
26
a 12,
episode series, yeah.
12 episode.
Oh, there was a 26
Okay.
one, too.
Original series
okay.
is kind of like militant, if that makes sense.
So it's like a military show,
Oh.
like Gundam or something?
Kinda.
All right. I mean, we might look at that at some point to see, like,
From what
we
I've
could make it
read,
actually...
again, this is like doing like 10 minutes of research. From what I read, it's honestly more in line with like what you were talking about earlier about the Venom thing, because like apparently the Guyver unit and the main character, who wasn't named Sean, by the way, in the original manga, it's like,
Oh, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
but
Sure,
apparently
I
it's like a
think.
constant like internal struggle for him, like trying to
Okay.
you know, like apparently like it's like it's Monster of the Week trying to defeat the Zoronoids or whatever the fuck they're called, but like it's an internal struggle to him trying to balance his life as this Guyver with his
They
regular.
were also high schoolers.
Well, yeah, with his regular friends and
superhero.
family, as well as the internal struggle of losing his mind to the thing. Because apparently the Guyver unit wants to kill, like the symbiote.
Yeah, it's like it's like the Black Suit Spider-Man series, or if you want a more recent one, there was a recent run of like Blue Beetle that was essentially that.
Yeah. I think if I read the manga, I would probably like this even less, but I can still appreciate the camp, I guess, so...
Oh, you mean like the movie less?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would probably like the movie way less than, I already do at this point, because the manga is probably actually pretty good. I don't know that it's great, but I'm sure it's better.
I mean, if it's been going on since 1985, it must be good for somebody.
There's gotta be something, like, good in there, and I feel like some of the ideas, like, are pretty good, so...
Yeah.
I don't know, but some of the funny parts kind of made this movie for me, so at least there's that.
I mean, yeah, maybe at some point we can take a look at the actual series, whether that's the manga, whether that's the OVAs, or the series, the anime series, something like that, and we can make a real comparison here. Because since none of us are really familiar with the property, we can't tell if this is a good adaptation. I mean, everyone seems to be pointing to no.
I know it's not.
You know.
But it's, like, harder to compare it. Like, it's not like Death Note, where we all know Death Note.
Oh, yeah, fuck it, Death Note.
Yeah. And
we'll talk about Death Note at episode 150 with everything else.
I mean, at the very least, it was definitely more emotional and compromising for the Sean equivalent, because it wasn't Mitsuki's dad who died, it was his own dad. And he turned it into a Zoonoid, which is why he had to kill him with his own hands.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, you mean in the manga?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sets the tone for it.
That would probably be better, to be honest.
I mean, not for Sean, but it'd be more interesting.
Right.
Yeah, be better for us.
Like, sucks to be Sean, but...
Like, it feels more like war on humanity.
Oh, I'm sure it does. And yeah, that's kind of that Blue Beetle thing that I was talking about a little bit. Yeah, no, I might be down to checking this thing out. Well, I'd be down to check out real bio armor. Is it bio armor booster Guyver or bio booster armor Guyver?
Bio booster.
It's a mouthful either way.
I'd be down to see real Guyver, the sequel to this. Possibly the anime. Like, this, I feel, at the very least, this has made me interested in the property. So, I will give it a point for that. I have a question, as far as this movie goes, though. Just in a broad sense, what do you think won the movie? What was the best part of this movie?
The costumes and effects for me, without a doubt. Okay.
The transitions. That's really all I gotta say.
Well, I would agree with Envy. If you look at what the Guyver unit is supposed to look like, it is
they got it pretty good,
spot on, and as armor, like, that still holds up like really well today.
Well, like, even the monsters, like, yeah, obviously they're guys in suits, but like, they're guys in suits. There's no CG. It's like, everything was done by hand. Like, even the Mark Hamill thing, I'm pretty sure that was all practically done, like, in the old, like in the old days.
I will also say, a lot of the action scenes, I did enjoy the choreography.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was very fluid and well put together for what it was.
It's almost like the people that made the movie were probably told by the higher-ups, okay, this is already based on a niche property. Let's not make it too depressing and niche where we can't get kids to go into the theater. So let's make it as campy as possible, and hopefully that works. But obviously it didn't for a lot of people.
Yeah.
How well did this do?
I don't know that it did well.
Do you think it even got a wide release? Because I doubt it.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up. The reception.
Surprisingly convincing costumes and effects-inspired casting and energetic direction. What sinks it is the unfortunate adherence to the time-honored direct-to-video cliches, an unearned paycheck for a one-time A-picture star, and a tendency to fall back on lame humor whenever the going gets slow.
I think that was Glenn Kenny from Entertainment Weekly.
That's a fair review right there.
Yeah. I'm looking. Yeah, Wikipedia says the budget was $3 million, but it doesn't say what their box office was. So
Did they
that
make
might be
back
a
the
little bit telling.
I don't think it was a box office. I think it may have been direct to video, like it says.
Well, the sequel was,
Maybe
but
but
Ham-fisted overacting, ludicrous plot contrivances, nauseatingly hokey soundtrack.
I like that soundtrack. Helped me a lot, make me feel like I was watching Bulk and Skull.
You know it's hokey though.
I know it's hokey. That's the fun.
Oh, this one guy did not like the music.
I had a lot of fun with that. That was a good thing for me. I think you guys are right. Probably, yeah. The costumes probably win the movie for the most part. I do want to give a runner-up to the CEO guy, because he was just I think he knew I'm in this for 10 minutes and I am gonna make an impression. Mark Hamill's
definitely entertaining.
I have to be memorable.
He was pretty creepy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give the runner-up to David Gale and Michael Berryman. Collectively, because I did enjoy both of them for the most part.
Okay. Out of over 5,000 ratings, it is at a 39%.
That seems fair.
Sounds about right.
I feel like a lot of people don't have good taste.
I imagine this movie didn't do well if it came out in theaters, because the two movies that came out around the same time was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, and True Colors. So,
okay,
those probably took the... You had another costume movie that was probably arguably a better movie, and you had another adult movie that was probably better. I've never seen True Colors, so I can't judge that.
Like, looking, I know the people in it. Never even heard of this. No, you know what? True Colors did not do well. I'm gonna throw this out there. I just looked up their Wikipedia.
Oh.
Budget, $20 million. Box office, $418,000. It fucking bombed probably harder than the Guyver did.
Ouch.
So I would not call that a fair comparison.
Oh, wait, you know what? I'm thinking of True Lies. I'm thinking of True Lies.
No, I know that one. That one did. That was a good one.
Yeah, I must be thinking of that one.
Yeah, I've never heard of True
stupidity.
Apparently there were a bunch of scenes they filmed but were cut so they could focus on the humor.
No.
Yeah,
well,
Mr. MC Skeeter there.
Now we need to see the director's cut.
Like, why would they do that?
Guyver director's cut. When?
Screaming Mad George. Whatever happened to him?
No, we don't need to know that.
George just went on to do more makeup stuff, I think.
He just gave
Looks
up.
like it was the decision of New Line who distributed the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, but distributed it, like, in theaters, or was it actually straight to video?
I think it was straight to video.
Gotcha.
Mm.
That makes sense why it was how it was, then.
Yeah, when's the release the Screaming Mad George cut? Yeah, no, I got a good point.
I would be very interested in knowing what they cut.
From what I understand, Screaming Mad George, like, I think they're still working for the most part. They're 66 now. I think they've mostly stuck with special effects, and they worked with, like, Brian Usna a number of times, who was the producer on this one, I think. But they have, like, there's some pretty good things on their filmography, like Big Trouble in Little China, Predator, 2 of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
What I'm hearing is we need to write some strongly worded emails demanding the director's cut.
I mean, if they just release the deleted scenes, I can do the rest from there. I don't have a problem with that, but
just edit it yourself.
Yeah, why not? I don't know. We got anything else to say about this?
I mean, I will say this right now. I know we haven't seen the other live-action films, but I know that this one is not going to be the worst. I can already know which one's probably going to be my least favorite.
Which one?
Oh, no, we'll get there when we get there. We'll get there when we get there.
Dragon Ball?
We'll get there when we get there.
Wait, which other ones are we doing?
Okay, so this is actually good because we got to talk about what we got coming up on the schedule. So, next week, as stated at the beginning of this, we're taking a break to watch the Jujutsu Kaisen movie because that's coming out, Jujutsu Kaisen 0. But the week afterwards, we are watching 1995's Fist of the North Star, based, of course, on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And then
oh, no.
Yeah. After that, it's 2008's Speed Racer.
Bring your
then
shrooms
2000.
ready.
What's a what?
Bring your shrooms ready.
Come on now. Next, after that is 2009's Dragon Ball Evolution. Then I think we move on to 2013's Old Boy. Unless I'm missing something in there. Then 2014's Edge of Tomorrow. 2017's Ghost in the Shell, and 2019's Alita Battle Angel. I'm going to check to make sure I'm not missing anything. But I think...
What's Old Boy based off of?
Old Boy is based off of a manga that came out in Japan. It also had a
Wasn't
2000...
there a Japanese version of Old Boy?
There was a South Korean version made in 2003.
Oh, it's South Korean one.
That is very well acclaimed.
Yeah.
But I have not heard good things about the 2013. Hey, we said American.
I've heard that one was really good.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. But it's not the one we're watching.
Damn it.
So yeah, okay, yeah, I didn't miss anything.
America.
Yep. And then after all of those, for episode 150, we'll be just talking about all of them and, you know, what was the best? What was the worst? What
we'll
happened,
also talk about Death Note 2017 because that was technically a live-action American movie that we already covered.
Yeah, we'll talk about that as well and whatever else we might feel like discussing that day because it's kind of a broad subject for that sort of thing.
And, you know, we could also do something else, but I'll talk about about that after the podcast.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay, then. So, anything else before we head out?
This is almost unrelated, but thinking of straight to video movies, I just recalled a time when I was a toddler and I saw, I could not grasp the concept of straight to video. I thought every movie had to go through the movie theater first. And I remember being at the grocery store and seeing a DVD of Blue's Clues episodes. And I was like, when was there a Blue's Clues movie? How did this go through theaters without me noticing? And I was so distraught.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. Apparently there's going to be a Blue's Clues movie on Paramount Plus with all three hosts.
Yeah, all three.
Oh my god, they're No Way Homing Blue's Clues.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, they were never in a separate universe.
It's a joke. I do
care.
that.
I want the universe back where Blue didn't talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that's a thing now, but that's not really for me to discuss, I guess. So, come back next week. We'll be discussing Jujutsu Kaisen, or you can wait on that if you haven't seen it yet. At that point, we'll probably have the first part of it be non-spoilery, and then the second part be spoilery if you want to be spoiled. And we'll keep watching more live-action anime adaptations from there until we see all of the horror that awaits us. Come back next time. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Marco!
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!